Yeah, third part of our trip moved on to Passy in France, opposite Mont Blanc, near to Chamonix, where we had some pretty spectacular flying. We packed the vehicle and made the journey from Italy into France, finding the campsites near the launch at Passy at Planjou. Beautiful site up there, right on the top of the hill, looking out towards Mont Blanc. It was such a good feeling up there, waking up in the morning, getting out of the tent and then walking across to where we were going to be launching from later in the day. Mont Blanc in the distance, looking pretty spectacular. Yeah, it was quite early in their holiday season in France, so the campsite was only just opening back up, and we were pretty much the first people to use the facility in 2024. The launch area was only a short stroll from the campsite, so that was really handy. Toilets up there, restaurant, pretty much everything you could need. Yeah, as well as local pilots and pilots travelling from other parts of the world, also met up with some of the guys from the Southern Club here with Roger on the launch area. I have to say, this was a flight I was really looking forward to. After getting away from launch quite nicely, found Phil and Matt in the sky and started to try and get some altitude with the two of them. So initially, after playing in some weak thermals, we found some good ones and started to get some good height. Yeah, this was Matt following me round in the thermal, together with another wing almost identical to his. I could only tell it was Matt because of the yellow jacket. So we started to get higher, make our way west along the ridge, and the higher the altitude we got, the more spectacular the scenery became in front of us.
Yeah, I'm up at 2,000, Matt, just approaching over the top of you.
Yeah, my plan was to follow Matt along the ridge, see where it was safe to fly, and stick with him for as long as possible. Phil was ahead of Matt at this stage, probably half a kilometre or so ahead, just making his own way west along the ridge. Yeah, as you can see, the views above the ridgeline were stunning. The snow and the ice below me, and also it was getting pretty cold up there. So thankful I had my couple of tops on and my ski gloves and a second pair of gloves underneath.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to push out and round, I think.
So a mixture of thermals to work with, some easier than others to stay in, some a little bit bumpy in places depending on the terrain and the height I was at. So eventually the height I managed to get up to on this flight was 9,250 feet.
Pushing forward 2.8, just coming out this cloud. The scenery is pleasant up here. Yeah, I got you right in front of me, Matt. Mate, I've never seen views like this before. It's out of this world, unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a great feeling catching up with Matt again, who I'd been out of sight with for quite some time, so quite a relief to get back to where he was.
Even my arse is getting cold here.
So the plan now was that I'd caught up with Matt, was to try and get some altitude and then make the transition to the lower ridge before making our way towards the Aravs.
Going sightseeing.
Yeah, I made a slight error here getting on the shaded area of the ridge, so it took me a few minutes to get back on the sunny side to start looking for some more lift to get back up to the altitude that we needed for the transition.
Sun's over there.
Yeah, and just like magic, as soon as I turned the corner, got into the sunshine, the lift started to improve and altitude was going up. Yeah, baby! So thermaling here with Matt over this spectacular scenery was probably the highlight of the trip. Matt started his transition across the Aravs, thinking he's got enough altitude, and I continued to try and find a little bit more before starting to push over towards where he was.
Yeah, I'm right behind you. I'm still 2,300.
Yeah, this is a pretty long glide across the valley, so speed bar most of the time, a little bit of lift here and there, but generally just trying to follow in Matt's footsteps really across and pick up the valley, or pick up the lift on the far side of the valley wherever he got to. So I was approaching the lower range where Matt was just starting to get some lift, and you can see the Aravs range in the distance with the cloud formation above. Got onto the lower range, trying to find some lift, trying to find some thermals to keep up with Matt. He was getting some altitude and starting to push towards the Aravs range over the back. So eventually, after about half an hour of trying, I managed to get the altitude I needed to go over the back and up towards the Aravs range. Really pleased to have done that in quite tricky conditions, but at this point I was so far behind Phil and Matt that I decided to turn back and find a landing spot down in the valley. So I managed to find a decent landing field on the way back to Passy, met by Kev, who picked us up. Then short time later we met up with Phil, who'd landed after his epic flight, had a beer together with him and Kev, and then realised that Matt wasn't too far away from landing at Passy, so drove there just as he was coming into land. Yeah, this graphic shows the route that Matt and Phil took after leaving me still trying to climb out on the lower ridge, where the two of them made it up to the Aravs and then went quite a long way along the Aravs range and ridge top along to Marlene before turning back, with Phil taking a different route back than Matt took. Phil went a quick way back and got back above the landing field and landed in Passy. With Matt stopping en route, actually stopped to go to the loo, landing high, climbing, walking back up to an area where he could relaunch from, relaunching safely, and then getting back to the landing field at Passy. So yeah, quite a flight. Hats off to the two of them. Great fun flying with them, and looking forward to more. So thank you to Passy for being so spectacular. The next part of the Trans Alps 24, moving on to Levico in Italy.